Hey everybody, and welcome to Lindsay's Little Library. So I'm back again for BookList Thursday. Today we are changing up a little bit. BookList Thursday is something that I do with my friend Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book type recommendations, ideas, thoughts, chat, whatever it might be. And today we actually went to our kids. So we chatted with our daughters and we had them pick out their favorite books for BookList Thursday. So I've got some from both of my kids, I've got some from when I was a kid, and I've got a few that we still want to read. So kind of a little bit of a different spin. We're going to do some, I guess, middle grade recommendations today, and I will share with you the thoughts of what they thought of these books. These are some of their favorites. So one thing that's not in here that I'm shocked that my daughter didn't pick was the Dork Diaries. So I'm going to throw that out there. Dork Diaries, she loved them. She read all 10 in like no time. But she didn't pick them for this video, which shocked me. So the one and only book that both of my girls highly recommend, of course, is Harry Potter. We read this last summer as a family and they just loved it, and I loved watching them experience this world and kind of see it in their own eyes as we went through the story, and then we followed it up with the movie, and that was even more fun to watch. And they'd be like, oh yeah, that's totally how I thought this looked, or how come it didn't have this part in it, or this is what I thought Diagon Alley looked like, or whatever it was. It was fun to watch them experience that. So this summer we are halfway through the second book, the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which they are of course loving as always. So highly recommended. Both of them like immediately shouted Harry Potter right away, which just warms my heart. Makes me so proud. All right, so then my youngest daughter, who's 7, for one of the books that they read at school, what they did was every family got a copy of this book and a bookmark to go with it that had a schedule of what pages you should read what night. So we kind of read this book together as a school. My oldest daughter wasn't as interested in it, but my youngest daughter absolutely loved it, and her and I read this together. It's The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. This book was just so heartwarming. It follows Ivan, who is a silverback gorilla, and his friend Ruby, who is an elephant. And they live in a shopping mall, so there's like this little zoo enclosure inside of a shopping mall, and they both miss the jungle. They definitely learn about survival. They learn about friendship. There is a dog that shows up. His name is Bob, and he cracks me up. He is so funny. So it's a really beautiful book. I highly recommend it. Emily and I had a great time reading this one. All right, then a couple of books that my older daughter Riley suggested. So she immediately picked up The 14th Goldfish. This is by Jennifer Holm. This follows a girl named Ellie. It looks like she doesn't like change. She misses 5th grade, misses her old best friend, misses her departed goldfish. And one day she meets a boy, I think at her new school. He's bossy, he's cranky, and he's weird, and he reminds Ellie of her grandfather, Grandpa Melvin. He was obsessed with immortality. And so Ellie starts thinking, did Grandpa find eternal youth? Is this my grandpa? Like, what connection is there? She definitely sees that there's something weird going on. So Riley said she absolutely adored this book. I remember her reading this pretty quickly and loved it. In fact, this copy is actually going to one of her friends' has a birthday party tonight, and so that's where this one's going. So that's why it looks so good. Otherwise, Riley likes to beat up her books. The next book kind of series she talked about is The Critter Club. This is by Callie Barkley. The Critter Club follows a group of girlfriends who, there's always some sort of animal involved. There's usually a mystery involved. This one talks about Liz and how she has to go back to summer school and how is that going to affect her participation in the Critter Club. They're cute little short books. She adored them. She read most of them. I don't know if she read that one. And then what she's currently reading right now is The Thing About Jellyfish by Ellie Benjamin. This sounds heartwarming, absolutely heartwarming. And she initially picked this book up because I can't stand jellyfish. I don't know, I've been stung by a jellyfish. I'm not a fan, whatever. So anytime she sees anything to do with jellyfish, she almost has to tease me about it. So that's why she picked up the book, but it turns out she absolutely loves it. So this follows Susie Swanson. She's a little odd. She seems to collect facts. So she knows that there are 150 million jellyfish stings on the planet every year. She knows the sleep patterns of ants. She knows that the average middle school kid contains about 20 billion of Shakespeare's atoms. Just random thoughts. So something happened. Her best friend Franny Jackson passed away, and Susie feels really bad because they kind of had a fight before it happened, and she really misses her best friend. And she realizes that there might be more to the story than what she knows. So she embarks on a plan to travel across the globe alone to learn more about the truth of what happened to her friend. And it says on here that she discovers the answers she most needs could be right in her own backyard. So she really likes this book. She's been reading it just about every night. She actually fell asleep with it right next to her last night. So she loves this book, highly recommends it. Like I said, she hasn't finished it yet, but she already said it's great. All right, so then I thought I would throw in one of my recommendations, and this is one I feel like maybe isn't as known. So this is The Borrowers by Mary Norton. This is one I read when I was a kid, and this follows a family of very little people who live in your house, and they borrow things when they need it. So if they need a kitchen table, they might borrow a button. So if you're missing a button, it's probably the borrowers who took it for a little bit. They never keep it. They eventually return it and leave it in some random place for you to find again. But that's where they live, and they follow their story. And their daughter desperately wants to get outside of the house and see what the rest of the world has to offer. So it's a really cute story. I think it was made into a movie, like a classic 80s type movie. I think so. All right, so then I wanted to share the couple of books that are on our TBR list for what we want to read next. So our neighbor girl highly suggested The War That Saved My Life by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. This also, I believe Krista from Books and Jams highly recommended this book as well. So this follows Ada, who's 10 years old. She lives in London, and her mom is just no good. Not cool. She has a little brother, Jamie, and her brother escape London because of the war, so World War II. And they go live with Susan Smith, who is a wonderful, wonderful woman. So because of this horrible war that was going on, she got out of a really bad situation and went to live with a wonderful woman, and this kind of follows what happens and how she survives. So sounds really, really great. The next one we definitely want to pick up together is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This follows, I believe, there is a town there's a witch that lives in the woods, and they feel like they need to keep her happy, so they sacrifice, what do? Oh, they leave a baby as an offering to the witch every year as like a sacrifice. Like, if we give them one of the babies, it will be okay and she'll leave us alone and nothing bad will happen. And the witch is like, I don't know why this town keeps giving me these babies. But she doesn't really want to keep the babies, but she wants to make sure that they grow up and are well taken care of. So she takes the babies and she feeds them starlight to keep them alive while she travels pretty far out to another town and leaves them with a family there. One time she mistakenly gave the baby moonlight, and that gave that baby magical powers. So she kept that one and raised it as her own because she didn't know what was going to happen if she passed it on with these magical powers to another family. So we get to learn about the girl that grows up who drank the moonlight. I've heard really great things about this book. I know Riley and I are super excited to read this together, and so that's definitely next on our list. So that's it. There's our middle grade recommendations. I hope that inspires some of you to pick that up. Let me know if you or your kids read together, if there's any other books that we should definitely be adding to our list. I love that my kids have a love for reading that I do. It's so fun to watch them. We truly enjoy going to the library and picking out books and just sitting and reading together. It's a fun thing, and I highly encourage it with my kids. I always have. I think reading is such an important thing for everyone to do. So that's our list. Again, comment below if you have any ideas that we should add to it, or if you've read any of these and you want to chat about them. Otherwise, like and subscribe. Be sure to go over to Sarah's channel and check out what her daughter or daughters have recommended. I'm not sure if both of them did or just one, but what they have recommended to us. I can't wait to go check it out and see what other books we can add as well. So I think that's about it. We will see you guys soon. Bye.